That's what it's all about, finding a way to get the job done. And today we were able to do that on a night where it was hard for us. I mean, Sale was pretty nasty. Probably the best I've seen since I'm probably going to go back when he was with the White Sox. Lindor obviously got him. And then we just had to grind through it. But what a team effort there from the pitching staff. Sevy, Burro, pretty amazing there. Diaz getting out of that jam, and then Mayton. So yeah, on a night where offensively we're facing pretty good pitching staff because not only Sale but they're bullpen with Jimenez and Iglesias and Johnson that last inning. We found a way.
Tony?
In the top of the 10th, the bunt play, you guys were expecting that, it seemed?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the game, Kalanick there, and, they got a little bit of speed at third base. So, yeah, we were ready for it.
How I guess, proud are you that they executed it the way that they did?
Yeah, every time you get an opportunity to get an out, especially on a situation like this, extra inning, tie ball game, running at third base, I'm glad that, we were able to execute that rundown and, get the last out.
Abby.
Are we seeing Happy Jeff again tonight?
Yeah, we've been seeing the Happy Jeff for a while now. Look, he's a big part of this team, and it's good to see him continue to get results. So yeah, Happy Jeff, that's what we're calling him.
A hit like that, what do you think that can do for a player who did struggle a lot through the first half of the season? Yeah,
not only a hit like that, obviously for the walk-off, but the way he's been swinging the bat, the homers, there's some really good at-bats now. He's not just guiding the baseball, he's swinging the bat and trying to drive the baseball, and we've seen it. He's a good hitter, and finally we're seeing that type of player.
What was your vantage point on Laureano trying to steal home, and what happened there? It looked like the Braves were a little upset at the tag, maybe?
Well, he wasn't trying to steal. He was a squeeze play there. So, yeah, no, it's baseball. We're playing baseball. There's not more than that. So we got the out.
Zach?
Between that play, on the squeeze and then the inning before with Alvarez throwing out the guy at third, he's not swinging the way he can, but how important is his defense, specifically those two plays tonight?
Yeah, that's, that's what makes him such an important part of this team. Not only him, but Torrens behind the plate, both of them. They can shut down the running game. We saw it today we knew Merrifield, as soon as he went in the game, we knew he was not only going to steal second, he was going to go to third because he's really good base stealer, especially stealing third base. He's really good at it. And for Alvy to come up throwing like that and put him away, that for me, that was a huge part of the game. So, and then the instincts on executing that rundown there with Laureano on that rundown. Yeah, overall, that's not only offensively he can impact and win games for us, but defensively, I've been saying it all along. So,
Roger?
When you guys finished off sweeping the Yankees, there was a lot of talk in your clubhouse about how you guys are playing the game the right way. You're doing the right things. Are you a believer in a thing like momentum, that something from one day can carry over into success the next?
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to go out there, you got to make plays, you have to execute, you got to do the little things, you got to do a lot of different things to be able to win baseball games, and that will give you momentum. Winning obviously will give you that, but then there's gonna, you're gonna go through some stretches where, you're doing some of the things and you're not getting, the results. So we've been playing pretty well, but understanding that every day you're looking for ways to improve, and credit to the guys that they continue to show up and they continue to look for ways to get better individually as a team, and it's showing right now on the field.
Steve?
Carlos, back to Budo for a second. He's obviously had success as a starter at this level, but it seems like he's taken it up a notch out of the bullpen. Is there anything specific you've seen since he's made that transition that has been just a little bit better, a little bit more consistent?
I think the biggest thing for me is his ability to slow the game down, especially when there's traffic. I think this is the second time I brought it in with runners on, first and second, nobody out, right? And then just having the awareness of where we are in the game, who's the hitter, not giving in when he gets behind in counts. So we saw it with Rosario. He stuck to the changeup, made him chase, and then he continued to execute pitches and got out of that inning. Huge. And then he goes back out and stays on the attack. He's aggressive when he needs to. But I think just the ability to slow the game down, the situation seems like it's not too big for him, and just the awareness overall where we are in the game. So,
Tony.
With a win tomorrow, you guys could move into second place. I know it's early to be looking at standings, but even just symbolically, what would that mean, especially against a team that really for the past few years has had your number?
yeah, I know there's going to be a conversation, and you have to ask those questions. But we're not looking at standings. We're just taking one day at a time. We got done playing a really good team, the Yankees, and then we knew, we had another really good team coming into town. But the mindset is the same here. One day at a time, come in here and take care of business. So it was good to get that first one today, when it was hard. But yeah, we'll continue to treat it that way. We're not going to be looking at standing here. We just got to control the things we need to control.
He was tough. He was Chris Sale-like. He's ever since I came up, he's been extremely elite. He dominates every game he goes out there. He dominates. Today we found a way to get one good pitch, I guess, and scored 2 runs. It doesn't. My at bat doesn't come up if Tyron doesn't has a huge at bat right there. You're just looking for a good pitch to drive, and I was able to get the barrel on the base one. Chris is really good. He's at the same level as Garrett Cole. He's been doing it for a very, very long time.
Severino just said that the reason you guys won this game tonight was Jose Budo. What has been the thing that's impressed you the most since he's made that transition to the bullpen?
How he doesn't say no. He goes out there and just continues to do what he does, day in and day out. He has learned to be effective from the bullpen, which is not easy. And it's not easy to have 1 or 2 off days and then go back to the mound. That's not easy to do. But to have a successful season, we need guys like him. And him stepping up the way he is doing it has put us in a place where we look like a really good team. So hats off to him, the way he's been going about it day in and day out. And I'm looking forward to see what the rest of the year brings.
Francisco, considering how well the Braves have played against you guys the past few years, what would it mean to pass them in the standings?
We've been ahead of them before, and we just got to stay locked in on our task on a daily basis. They're a good team. They know how to play baseball in August and September, so we just got to do the same thing. We just got to continue to climb, continue to stay the course, and we'll see where we are at the end of the year. Hopefully we're in a position where we're competing for the playoffs, and if not, in the playoffs.
You mentioned it before. You beat Cole yesterday. I mean, you did it 2 different ways. You beat Cole one day, Sale the next. What does that say about this team?
That we have a good offense. We have a good offense, and it don't matter who's on the other side. We got to go out there and get it done. And once again, I keep saying it. It sounds like I say this every single day, but we're in a good wave right now. Ride it as long as you can, and then get on the next one.
How did the MVP chance make you? The MVP chance in the crowd.
It's cool.
Francisco, do you think a team, when it's going as well as you guys have been going for the last few weeks, starts to make its own breaks, like in the 10th inning? The busted suicide squeeze by them, and overran the ball for Jeff. Do you think when teams are going well, breaks tend to break their way more often?
I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure. I know that when things are going well, people forget about the bad things, and when things are not going our way, people put an accent in the bad things. So I'm not sure. I think it's just baseball. It's just some days it's going to be on our side, some days it's not going to be on our side. Today it worked out that Jeff was able to put the ball in play, and get a base hit, which I'm mad at him because he should have got a double. He should have continued second base. So make sure next time you guys say that.
Francisco, when you look at not only the wins you guys have, but the different types of ways you're winning, coming from behind, outslugging opponents, extra innings, what does that say about your team?
I'm just happy we're playing good overall baseball. You know, yeah, we out slugging, but at the end of the day, we got to pitch and we got to play good defense and we got to run the bases the right way. We came out of the All-Star break knowing that we were going to have a tough schedule. We have to have a sense of urgency and go out there and get it done day in and day out, no matter who's on the other side. I'm happy that we are playing the game the right way and we're hitting, we're playing good defense, we're running the bases, we're pitching, we're doing everything right now. We just got to stick with that as long as we can, and then once we get off that wave, find a new one.